Poker enthusiasts all around the world like discussing about their favorite players and arguing which among them is the best. While there are many methods to evaluate and contrast the abilities and accomplishments of the greatest poker players, one time-honored metric is the Hendon Mob's all-time money list. Poker is about winning money from other players. It stands to reason that the players who have won the most money ought to be considered among the best. There is little doubt that the players at the top of the all-time money list are some of the greatest in the industry. However, is the all-time money list a reliable indicator of success? In this video, we discuss whether the all-time money list is a good gauge for poker greatness. The all-time money list is made up of 25 players that have won the most money in live poker tournaments according to the Hendon Mob. This list includes an illustrious selection of some of the very best and well-known players in the world. However, this list also has some flaws. Since the list only details the fortunes of those taking part in ranked poker tournaments, many games are not part of the qualifying process. From cash games to unregistered private events, there are going to be some results that either slip through the net or do not qualify. Is the best tournament player guaranteed to be the best cash game player too? Well, of course not. Poker tournaments include a lot of variance as well. While we are not discussing the all-time greats, tournament luck as opposed to cash game luck dictates that many of the players on the all-time money list have been fortunate in order to reach their current levels. Mixed games haven't made up nearly as much of the action as other tournaments have. While a propensity to crush souls at No Limit Hold'em is impressive, it's not exclusive proof of greatness. Poker tournaments are evolving. The largest buy-in tournament on the live circuit has increased from $100,000 to more than $1.2 million in less than 10 years. The WSOP's main event size and prize pool have always skewed the all-time money list in one direction or the other, with unknown players earning a few minor cashes before surging to $10 million. With super high rollers, this issue has become greatly magnified. Even in the days when the main event would have a considerable influence on the list, players seldom threatened the top few spots after a single game-changing victory, giving the list its importance as a gauge of career achievements in tournaments. The value of an all-time money list has always been questionable, as profitability should be the true judge of poker success. The list did, however, give an indication of career longevity and consistency in the bigger tournaments on the circuit. Now, those indications are being increasingly eroded by the arrival of the super high rollers. The all-time money list has now effectively become the recent super high rollers run good list. Look at the number one spot on the list. Justin Bonomo had a meteoric rise to the top of the money list in 2018 thanks to earning over $25.4 million in high roller events. He has currently $58 million in earnings, with $40 million coming since 2015. Also look at current number 2 Bryn Kenny. The speed of Bryn Kenny's ascent through the all-time money list does raise some questions about rankings. In 2015, Kenny broke into the top 100, and of his $57.5 million in live cashes, over $30 million has been won in less than 12 months, sending him rocketing up to a top spot in 2019 by a full $10 million margin. Before we continue with this video, allow me to tell you about the APT Online hosted by Natural 8. Starting February 12th to March 7th, the APT Online comes with a whopping $10 million in guaranteed prize money. The APT Online features 17 trophy events and a whole variety of side events and satellites to suit all bankrolls. Check out naturalaid.com for more information. Every player, with the exception of 2, have been a regular on the high-stakes circuit when you look at the top 20 players on the all-time money list. Although Phil Hellmuth and Antonio Esfandiari have both achieved significant results in high roller tournaments, they do not participate in as many high rollers as the other players on the list. Eric Seidel reinvented himself in high roller events, as has Daniel Negreanu in recent years. If you want to get to the top of the list, you have no choice but to play in high roller events. Another reason for a player's results being skewed is because a player has either sold pieces of action or been outright staked by other players or coaches. Most pros at high roller event stakes are posting $25,000 or more several times a month. Almost all of them are backed in some way or another and are playing for a small portion of their own action. A majority of those playing at those insane stakes are actually losing money when you compare expenses against earnings, and that's including those making millions every year. The all-time money list does not take this into consideration, and if you calculate true earnings rather than tournament cashes, the money list would look very different. So what would the all-time money list look like without super high rollers, you say? When Hendon Mob's rankings are filtered to remove tournaments with buy-ins of more than $11,000, the field narrows down and is dominated by players who have previously won the main event. Perhaps the most impressive achievement to be found in this list is Daniel Negreanu's 4th place, which he reaches without ever having final tabled a main event, let alone win one. By further capping the buy-in to $8,700 to exclude the main event winners, changes the list entirely again, with Phil Hellmuth topping the list, and Negreanu also still faring quite well in 6th position. So what would be the best form of measuring poker superiority? The Global Poker Index, which was introduced in 2014, provides far more insightful data. Consistency and aging are two of GPI's main ideas. A single huge score may boost a player's rating, but a player's lack of consistency throughout the course of the time frame will keep a single score from carrying too much weight. The points earned from each score will also steadily decrease over time. As a result, the GPI offers a comparatively accurate assessment of the top players in the world among those who participate in a complete calendar of live tournaments each year. Additionally, any tournament with a buy-in of more than $20,000 is calculated as a $20,000 tournament by the GPI. This cap ensures that the rankings remain balanced despite high roller results. The only events which count are those that are open to all members of the public. Invitational or semi-private events do not count. As you see, the Global Poker Index is a far more fair way of judging the talent of poker players than the Hendon Mob's all-time money list. Since the moneymaker effect transformed the game we all love, the all-time money list has served as a gauge of greatness. It dates back to the most formative times of poker. The list has a lot of drawbacks, but given how long it's been around and how highly players and fans alike respect it, it's tough not to enjoy it despite all of its flaws.